Darren Dollins, Michaela, staff, all the staff and crew of this. I mean, they unload the wreaths. They help me with the plots to mark the grave sites, and it's fantastic. And Wes Peterson for the PA system, the Military Officers Association for organizing the Sutter Cemetery wreath solicitation, Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Bull as our MC, Lieutenant Colonel Ed Harvey as our singer for the national anthem. The American Legion Post 705 does so much for us. Thank you, Mark, and all of you. Sutter County Supervisor Mike Ziegenmeyer, who's not here. So Dan stepped in. Mike's at a volleyball game, I think. Early Risers Kiwanis, Sutter High School Key Club, Student Council, Seroptimus, and all the others that helped us mark the grave sites yesterday. And we located and marked 1,200 grave sites. That's a lot of work, and we could not have done it without them. We have our 8 wreath presenters who will be named. We have Kathy Grossman and the Seroptimist who purchased wreaths and marking plots for 83 lady veterans. It's awesome. And by the way, Kathy is going to take my place next year. I've done it for 10 years, and I said I would do it as long as I can. I will assist her next year, but she's actually shadowing me this year. KKCY Radio, 93Q Radio, especially Star Amato at the Peel Democrat for their extensive free advertising, 20, 30 days straight. They put the advertisement in the paper, helps us immensely. And then again, Kathy for what she's done in shadowing me this year. So I will turn it over to Lieutenant Colonel Bull.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, the missing in action, and honor those who have served and are serving in this great nation's armed forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Beale Air Force Base Honor Guard. Honor Guard, present the colors.
Present arms.
Ho! Ho! Present! Ho! Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
banner yet wave. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Right, to serve. Huh.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance by Sutter Supervisor Dan Flores.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Order, arms.
Please be seated. Our invocation. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to assemble together on this sacred ground and in this sacred place. And we ask you to help us accomplish three things in this hour and throughout the entire world, as defined by Wreaths across America. First, remember the fallen. Second, to honor those that serve and their families. And finally, by our example today and every day, to teach our young as well as our communities the value and price of freedom, while we also bear in mind and in heart our unique history. Then, in the process of this, help us, Lord, to embrace what it truly means to be American, what the blessings are as well as the responsibilities. Give us continued courage, Lord. Let your light in our heart never extinguish or flicker down, because so much rests on recognizing you as we maintain liberty. The gift of freedom is golden, but its loss would be darkness, bringing despair beyond description. And finally, to accomplish your will more efficiently, Lord, help us grow in love for each other, in patience and endurance. Help us to hold our faith in you and knowing what is possible by your mercy and your grace. Father, be with us now as we move forward to fulfill your will today as your people, as American people, this day and every day, with all our soul, with all our heart, and with all our strength, while we yet have breath. God bless and keep America, America. Amen. We'd now like to move forward to the POW and MIA empty chair ceremony. The prisoner of war and missing in action empty chair is a physical symbol of the more than 81,000 of American POWs and MIAs still unaccounted for from all the wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. At this time, the vice commanders will place the POW MIA flag on the empty chair, a reminder for all of us to spare no effort in the reparation and of the remains of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves for this vital endeavor. Thank you. Just a brief introduction right now of our distinguished speakers. Colonel Ryan Tribolt is the 9th Wing Commander, Deputy Commander, and Don Belza, candidate for the California Assembly District 3. We also have Sutter County Supervisors. Dan Flores here today. Jeff Stevens, is he here? And then Yuba City Mayor Dave Shaw, and Yuba City Vice Mayor Mark Boomgarden, and Councilman Wade Kirshner, if he's here. There he is. Okay. There'll be more on that later. We are gathered here today at this memorial site and memorial sites all across America to remember that we are one nation with one flag. We are all proud to be Americans and live free in a free society made up of many people, many races, and many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us and in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we believe. We can travel from one end of this great nation to the other and not have to ask permission to go. We are free to vote for whomever we feel should be in government office, and we answer to no one but our own feelings. We have the right to succeed and the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, many of you are veterans of the wars and conflicts that America has had to fight to protect the innocent and the oppressed. America has always been the first nation to stand up for the freedom of people from around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. We are here to say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away that most of us have never even heard of. These men and women are the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they made each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice that plague the world community. When you see a veteran or an active duty member of the armed forces, take a moment to say thank you. We owe them our way of life, and a moment of your time is well spent. This morning, we have a couple of distinguished speakers. I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Dale R. Minor change in script today. Colonel Ryan T. Tybalt is the Deputy Commander, 9th Reconnaissance Wing, Beale Air Force Base, California. The 9th Wing is responsible for approximately 7,000 military, civilian, and contract personnel and the entire Air Force high-altitude reconnaissance fleet of U-2 Dragon Lady aircraft. The wing is composed of 4 groups and 4 overseas operating locations, executing worldwide missions in support of all 6 geographic combat commanders. Colonel Tybalt is a 2002 graduate of the University of Wyoming, a distinguished graduate of the Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps and Air University Air Command and Staff College, and received the highest academic honors from the Air War College's Grand Strategy Program. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Structural Engineering and a Master of Aeronautical Science in Aviation Safety Systems, a Master of Military Operational Art and Science, and a Master of Strategic Studies with Grand Strategic Concentration. He has supported numerous named operations and exercises while assigned to PACAF, Air Command, Headquarters Air Force, and Joint Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Tycho.
All right, well, good morning. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this ceremony. As I looked at the fog on the way in, I was struck that oftentimes in combat we refer to the fog of war. Many of us have experienced that. Today, I'm actually grateful for the fog because I think it focuses us. If you look beyond, even down the street or behind us, you can't see outside of this small place where we're sitting. And I think that as we reflect on why we're here, to remember the sacrifices of those that have gone before, the fog is appropriate. It embraces us and it makes us really just take a moment here without the distraction of things that we can see further. So I'm grateful for the fog today. It warms my heart to see this many people out here on a day where the weather may preclude us. It may be easier to stay in your bed at home with a cup of coffee, but coming out and honoring the folks who have given so much on behalf of our great nation, it's important. And for the parents who brought your kids, thank you for that. Teaching the next generation of hopefully future leaders and potentially folks who are going to go into the armed forces, what their freedom cost is extremely important. So thank you for that. I'm not going to take really long because this ceremony is really about going out and placing wreaths where they belong, the fallen and those who have served. But I'll take just a couple moments to talk about the history of our country is replete with stories of sacrifice, commitment. We have a tapestry of our history. Those tapestries are made up of individual threads, and the threads are the men and women who serve in our armed forces, whether they have lost their lives or they carry wounds that continue even while they're living from the experiences they've had. The battles that many of you have been in, that we've seen, that we've lost friends, those change you, and they cause us to look maybe sometimes without hope at the future. However, I think if we zoom out and we look at the broad expanse of history, we can really look back on the moments of, again, kind of like the fog brings us here today, those focused moments where people lay down their lives for their friends, where they sacrifice something for a greater good. And those moments as a human give me hope that will continue. And as we said, the American way of life is paid for by the blood of patriots, and it will only continue if that price is continued to be paid. Today we have men and women serving all over the world in all the branches of the military, and they're away from their families, they're in harm's way. We have those who will serve in the future. And as I look at that tapestry and those threads of people, I have hope. We're in a season of hope around Christmas, and I think of the young men and women that we have out at the 9th Reconnaissance Wing that I get to interact with daily. Those young men and women, they have hope for what they're doing. They see themselves attached to a common good, but also a higher calling. And so today, as we look back on those who have paid that price, I ask you to take a moment. If you're going to lay a wreath, or if you're going to go walk through the gravestones, we have one of our chaplains who often says that people die twice, once when they actually pass away, and then once when their name is spoken for the last time. And so these opportunities to go out and stand in front of a veteran's grave and place a wreath, I ask you to say their name. It keeps them alive. It keeps their memory alive. Their families still obviously miss them. And it's an amazing opportunity for us to reflect on the price paid, but also on the hope that we have in the next generation that is out there serving. So I thank you for the opportunity today, and really on a solemn occasion here on a cold day, but I'd say a day that really closes us in and causes us to focus on this place. I'd ask you as you go out and you do this to take those moments to say the names and make that reflection. And thank you so much for allowing me to be part of the ceremony today.
Also speaking today, Don Belza, candidate for the 3rd Assembly District. It is indeed my honor to introduce Don Belza, a proud North State native and candidate for State Assembly. Don comes from a multi-generation agricultural family and has spent his life working to strengthen the rural communities that make our region so great. Don believes deeply in honoring those who serve, our veterans, our first responders, and the families who sacrifice alongside them. He often says that our freedoms are only possible because of the men and women who put on the uniform and defend this great nation. As candidate for the State Assembly, Don is focused on protecting our way of life here in rural California, standing up for farmers, supporting law enforcement, and making sure government works for the people it's supposed to serve. Please join me in welcoming Don Belza, a proud American who never forgets the values and sacrifices that made our country great. Don?
Well, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak at this event. Tom Walther asked me a few weeks ago if I'd be willing to do this. He said I could have 45 minutes, but I've whittled it down to about 5 or so. Yeah, I want to acknowledge my wife, Julia, and my family here for this event as well. Veterans are very special to me. In fact, my wife's grandfather is right over here. Don Sparks served in Korea. My grandfather served in World War II in the Pacific Theater, John Belza. And we've always had a great respect for our service members in my family. You know, when I think about veterans and I think about the sacrifices that are made for our country and for our way of life, you can't help but have just a tremendous amount of gratitude because of the sacrifices that are made, not just of our veterans that have passed or those that have given up their life in conflict, but our service members and our veterans that just make sacrifices every day. There's time sacrifices, there's career sacrifices, there's physical sacrifices that are made, emotionally and mental sacrifices that are made. And ultimately, the greatest sacrifice that can be made, which is giving up their lives for our way of life and for our country. I think also about the families that make the sacrifices as well. There's many hours and days and weeks and months spent separated from family. It takes a toll on spouses and children. And it's important that we acknowledge those sacrifices as well. It's what truly makes our country great, is sacrifice. I think too about this Christmas season. You know, we're all anticipating a great Christmas time with family. Trees are lit up, fireplaces warm. We get to spend time with our family having meals and enjoying each other's time. But for some, this is an incredibly lonely time of year. And it's something that I reflect about during this holiday season is those that are anxiously waiting for December 26th to show up. And so I want to encourage you guys to find somebody, to find a friend or somebody that might be experiencing that type of loneliness during this time and reach out to them. Go have that cup of coffee, invite them to your dinner, and just make a phone call or drop off a gift or something like that, because you don't quite know for sure what they're going through. You know, remembering those who sacrifice for us should be a daily discipline we practice in our lives. I'm always mindful of the sacrifice our Lord Jesus made for us, which is why we celebrate Christmas. And as patriotic Americans, we should daily reflect on those that made a life sacrifice for our freedoms, our liberties, and the future of this great country, and also those who commit their lives daily to preserve our rights in this country. When a service member enters into service, they say an oath. And in that oath, they promise that they will defend our Constitution from enemies foreign but also enemies domestic. And we have a domestic enemy in America today. It's not an enemy that's shooting bombs or dropping bombs or shooting rifles, etc. It's a cultural enemy. It's an enemy of comfortability, an enemy of lack of knowledge, and an enemy of respect for our past. And I believe truly that it's our duty, it's our mission, out of our respect for our veterans, to make a commitment to educate this next generation, to show honor and to speak the names of those who helped preserve our rights with their life. Julia and I are engaged in this war. Some of you have been fighting this war for years, but if you haven't, I want to draft you today to be a voice that patriotically stands in honor for our veterans and military service members, and commit yourselves to educating future generations of the great sacrifices and legacy our armed forces have and also our active military makes, and those who made the ultimate sacrifice for you and I to exercise our rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, we make a simple act of placing a wreath and speaking a name. Though it's simple, it amplifies our gratitude and appreciation for their sacrifice. I want to close with just a couple points. Find someone who needs a little Christmas cheer in their life and give it to them. Pray for your families, your friends, and for our service members, and cherish the moments you get with them. And remember the reason why we celebrate Christmas. I want to thank the organizers for today's event, and obviously thank all of you for showing up and standing out here in the cold. And my good friend Tom Walther, I want to thank you as well for giving me the opportunity to share today. I admire your commitment in making this event successful, and all of your commitments. And from my family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and God bless you guys. Thank you.
Today we show a united front of national unity all across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. We'll now have a brief representative wreath-laying ceremony to represent each of the armed services representative. Now, Lieutenant Colonel Lou Husbeth, retired Army, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Army. Now, Nick Marina, United States Marine Corps, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Rob Landon, former Navy, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Master Sergeant Bob Gunder, retired Air Force, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Tom Jones, former Coast Guard, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Tammy Pack, former Navy, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of those who served and are now serving in the United States Merchant Marines. Specialist 3, Eli Alfonso, United States Space Force, will lay a remembrance wreath in the memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Space Force. So we do, now we're for the POW, that's going to be.
Right. Yeah. Now we try to.
Is he here?
No,
Michael Connor, no.
Mike O'Connor is not. No, yeah. Bill is gonna step in for Mike.
Okay. And now a wreath will be laid in remembrance of the 93,129 United States service member from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoner of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes, and we shall not forget you. We will now retire the POW MIA flag. Ladies and gentlemen, you may want to cover your ears because we will now have the rifle salute.
Detail 10 foot. Report arm. Ready. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Breathe at arm. Order, arm.
Thank you all so much for coming out here, paying tribute. Thank you to American Legion 705, who they help us immensely every year. They're professionals, amateurs, but act very professionally. Wonderful. As Colonel Tybolt said, was we would like you to first, if you would, let the families of those who have wreaths here gather those wreaths so they can put them on their family grave sites, and then turn the rest of you loose. And we have down a section G at the far end a ton. We have section M, we have section P right here, and then J, K, and L on the far side. And it's rather inconvenient, but in past years we've had them clustered closer, made it more convenient, but those people also deserve a flag on their grave. And we have 1,800 this year. We've had over 3,000 in previous years. It's a sign of the times, I believe, but we're grateful for what we have. And if you would, if it's a vertical headstone, tilt the wreath on it, and again, say their veteran's name, the veteran's name, because their name is last said when they take their last breath, and then finally when their name is last said. So please say their name and Google it and just find out about the person. So that's it. Thank you so much for coming.
Ted Langdell, and you have been watching Yuba-Sutter.live's live presentation from Sutter Cemetery of Wreaths Across America, which is a national event where wreaths are laid on the graves of veterans who have served our country. And we've heard from local speakers both from Beale Air Force Base and from our community. We hope that you stay with us. We have a lot of things going on today for Christmas. Let's take a look. This weekend on Yuba-Sutter.live, Christmas continues. On Saturday, December 13th, we'll be at the 9 a.m. Wreaths Across America, live from Sutter Cemetery. At 2 p.m., we'll check in with the Yuba City Christmas Stroll to find out what's happening. And at 5 o'clock, we'll bring you the Olivehurst Christmas Parade, live from Olivehurst Avenue, presented by Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue in Olivehurst, and by Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties. Sunday, December 14th at 6 p.m., Wreaths Across America replay, and at 7 p.m., the Olivehurst Christmas Parade replay. Christmas in Yuba-Sutter continues this weekend on Yuba-Sutter.live.
Yuba-Sutter.live, it's the truth that comes through.
We thank you for watching, and we hope you will come back and tune in at 2 o'clock when we're down at Yuba City's Plumas Street to check in with what's happening with the Christmas Stroll, and then again at 5 o'clock tonight when we will be down in Olivehurst on Olivehurst Avenue, and we can see through the fog and gloom and bring you the Olivehurst Christmas Parade. It's the 56th time this particular event has paraded up during the Christmas season in Olivehurst, up Olivehurst Avenue. And we hope that if you're not able to make it to Olivehurst Avenue to see the parade live, that you're able to take a look at us here. That's 5 o'clock right here on Yuba-Sutter.live. And we have a bunch of other things going on that have been presented by...
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders, or even yourself, has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
And tune in on Tuesdays because we've got all kinds of government meetings Yuba County Supervisors, is it Water Agency? That's it, Yuba Water Agency. And we've got several others coming up on Tuesday, so join us then.
Yuba-Sutter.Live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
And here at Yuba-Sutter.Live, we get individual support from folks like Brent Hasty, Supervisor Gary Bradford, Mike Leahy, and other viewers like you. You can help as well. All you need to do is scroll down or up, as the case may be, from the video and take a look at our link. There's a link down in the bottom, and you're able to basically click on that and make a one-time donation or some continuing support along the line. Helps us come out here and do events like this so that you have an opportunity to see what's happening in our community and do so without necessarily having to leave the comfort of your own home. Or if you can't make it to these events, you get a chance to see what our community is doing and how it's doing it. So we hope that you're able to make it, and we will replay this with titles so you know who's talking. I have that set up, I think, and we'll let you know when that's going to happen. So thank you for watching right here on Yuba-Sutter.Live, and we hope that you come back and watch our other presentations later today, 2 o'clock, from Plumas Street with what's happening with the Christmas Stroll in downtown Yuba City, and also what's going on with the Mary's, or the Yuba, how about Olivehurst? We'll get to the right place soon. The Olivehurst Christmas Parade coming up at 5 o'clock right here on Yuba-Sutter.Live.
Yuba-Sutter.Live. It's the truth that comes through.